just that she has idealistic tendencies. For instance, she considers it an act of rebellion that she chose to enter the world of journalism at the inopportune moment when most of her peers and role models were sounding alarms about the industry's changing landscape and rapid decline in sustaining employment options. Most of her college friends moved to large cities to chase coveted jobs. Everyone just moves to London. A lot of them go into banking and law, but I didn't want to. Unfortunately, Ellie soon faced the harsh reality and disappointments of being a creative professional in the big city. She felt alone in her refusal to settle for unfulfilling work, uninspiring colleagues and role models, and a life she believed was moving in a losing direction. Actually, newspapers are just owned by big corporations, and they have their own agendas. And also, just the realities of ringing up hedge funds and trying to find out who's lost the most money in the first quarter of the year is just not terribly inspiring, really. And when you look around, your colleagues are much older than you, and you just have no desire to end up like that. I was like, none of this works for me. The solution? Ellie booked a flight to move almost 8,000 miles away in order to reinvent her life. She believed that in Bali's digital nomad scene, she would have all she needed to pursue the freedom and community that she craved. She would begin living like others in that ecosystem, finding employment online, keeping her possessions to a minimum, traveling as she pleased, and working remotely from anywhere she wanted. Her only requirement would be a good internet connection. She explained that now, Bali feels like home to her. There, she has found a community of kindred spirits in search of another way of living. Most digital nomads who end up in Bali are idealistic. They're people who are not prepared to accept the reality presented by everyone else. A revolution is brewing in cubicles worldwide. Creative class jobs in cities, supposedly the bedrock of the new economy, are failing to deliver the personal fulfillment that many ambitious young professionals believe is essential to their lives. Unwilling to sacrifice their autonomy and values to strive for someone else's dream on someone else's terms, and excited by new options for personal mobility and online work, digital nomads have struck out on their own. As a starting point, they turn to online communities for opportunities to connect to like-minded others. But soon these driven but disaffected individualists need more. They leave their cities, jobs, friends, families, and countries in search of a face-to-face community of unconventional people who share their ideals and goals, what they call a tribe. Usually, they find their community in low-cost global hubs in places like Indonesia, Thailand, the Philippines, Cambodia, Vietnam, Colombia, Mexico, or Portugal. There, united by an intense shared commitment to personal reinvention, digital nomads are creating new paths to meaningful work. More surprisingly, they are also pioneering a new type of place-based community. This book began with a goal to better understand why work-focused creative professionals with promising careers would abandon not just their jobs, but their home cities and countries, and move around the world in search of new working lives that are untethered to any particular location. Our immersion in the world of these digital nomads through fieldwork, interviews, and social media analysis yielded a wealth of description about why they left and how they crafted new lives and new communities. Collectively, these rich data provide a sense of how some individuals have responded to the transformation of creative class work into a routine commodity, and to the limitations of community in world-class cities. Why study digital nomads? Digital nomads deserve systematic attention because they represent the vanguard of a growing rejection of the terms imposed on workers within the new economy. The failures of creative class cities and jobs have led many individuals to despair that they will not be able to realize their work and life goals through traditional employment. In creative class cities, the cost of living has outpaced